Alright folks, so I got my jack under there. I'm going to push on the number 3 cylinder liner. I just have a piece of ash in there. I'm going to set this right here so you can get an idea. I'm going to use the jack here. And let's zoom in here a little bit. I guess I wish I could get you a little bit higher. Maybe I could get you here. Let's see. That's where I want to get you, right about there. Shit. Hold on a second. Get this liner. Balance the damn thing up here. Get a rag. Hold on a second. Sorry, guys. There we go. I'm going to try and set this back here. So there's a number 3 back there. I'm gonna go underneath, and I'm gonna use that hydraulic jack and use that ash to pop that baby. So let's see here. Get in there, make sure. No, it's not quite on the bottom. I just set the piece of ash right on the edge of the liner. I mean, if I can just cover it a little tiny bit. I don't want, because it's a little tight to the engine block there. It might be a 1/4 of an inch to the engine block. So I want to get this, I don't want to push on the engine block, I want to push on the liner. So I'm going to get this up against there. Like so. So let's see what happens here. I'm going to start jacking this a little bit. What happened there? Let's take a look. Oh! It shafted or sliced my board, so I gotta get back over there again. Hold on a second. Alright. I'm gonna get that board back over there a little bit. Get that up against the liner. Okay, about that. There we go. Alright, now let's try it. Let's see here. Alright, hasn't gone yet. But see it moving a little bit. Oh, did you see that? There you go. See it pop there? So now that's up about just a little ways. That popped out. I still got my wood on there. So I guess what I'm going to do now is I'm going to slide that wood over just so it's touching on the liner, so then I can push it up the rest of the way. So in order to do that, I'm just going to back off the jack a little bit. Alright. Let me relocate that. I'm going to cut off the jack a little more. Hold on a second. I guess you could say this is the cheap man's version of a liner puller. I'm all about trying to save money when I can. I'm just gonna get that piece of wood here, so I'm just gonna break this. I'm trying to get the shaving of wood off of the damn thing. There you go. I'm just breaking that off, that's all. Get that back down in there. Get that on top of the jack. And that's about right where it is, right there. Alright, now I'm going to bring up the piece of wood again. On the jack, I'm using my foot. I'm using my foot here to get it, to push down on the jack, just to get it perfect. Alright. I think that's going to be pretty good right there. So let's see. Jack that the rest of the way out. There you go. See it coming? Look at that. Rest of the way here. Still coming. Let me give it a little more. Piece of jack. There you go. I think it just got past the last two O-rings on the bottom, and now I can pull that baby right out of there. So here it is. I'm gonna pull that out, and there you go. There's the remaining. I think it's the packing right there, because it's packing O-ring, I believe. I'll confirm that later. So there's your liner, right? I've got that out. So I just used the jack, and I'm going to back that off now. And just a piece of ash. It's actually a piece of ash I was making out of. I'm trying to make a piece of furniture with it, but it's one of my remaining pieces. So yeah, you're probably using hardwood's good. You try and use a piece of pine, you're probably going to split it, because you do get some pressure on that jack to pop these babies. So that's what we got. Got two out so far. You know, got two out. I got one to go here. Got that liner out of the way, but you can see that liner still in there. And so when I pushed out the number 3, if you look down there, I moved that cam follower out of the way. See, now I have some room here to put that piece of wood up through. I don't want to damage that cam follower. So I think using a piece of wood's a good idea too. You know, you don't want to get a piece of metal, you know, like a post or something, or a piece of pipe, and then all of a sudden, I don't know, if it goes haywire, then you're in some deep shit. At least a piece of wood is, I think, is going to be a little more forgiving. So that's where I am. Now I pulled out these liners. I already pulled out the first one, but I got to show you this. So talking before about part numbers and stuff. So I take the new liner out, and I compare the old one right next to it, and look at this. What in the hell is going on here? Right? Here's the oh shit, where's he? Okay, so let me get the other one here. This is the one I sat the camera on. This is the first one I took out. Well, look at that. Look at the height difference there. What in the hell is going on? Right? So, hold on a minute. So let me take this, set it here. So I always compare parts, right? You want to look at the old versus the new. Hold on. Just trying to make this a good photo opportunity for your consideration. All right, so here we go. I'll even move this towel out of the way here. Look at that. Good half-inch difference on that baby, right? And also, you can see on the bottoms here, this distance right here is longer than this distance. Clearly, the part they gave me and the piston they gave me, it comes in the kit, is not the right part. So I'm gonna have to take them back to John Deere. But one piston and one liner comes together in a box. They gave me that part number right there, right? And so that's an incorrect part number. I'm going to put this all back in here. This goes in the kit together. It even has rings, the O-rings and the packing ring with it. So I'm going to put that back in here and get this out of the way. But in inspecting my liners that came out, right? If I look here, well, wouldn't you know it? Here's the part number right on the existing piece of shit liner I took out that's shot. I don't know if you can see that or not, but that says it's part number R502260. Compared to the part number of the kit they gave me, it doesn't seem to be lining up. So guess what? I'm going to be taking these liners back to John Deere. I'll take the existing one back, show them they're not the same, and see what we can work out. I'll keep you posted. Okay, so I'm in the process of cleaning out after pulling the liners, I want to clean out the excess material that's left behind by the liners. You know, there are a couple of O-rings that go on the liner, as well as a packing ring, which is more like an O-ring except it's rectangular, and you know that's all got to be cleaned out of there. You just you know, clean out all the grooves and everything. So you know, I've already done two. I've already done. I'm facing towards the front of the tractor here, but I've already done number one. You can see I've done that. That looks pretty clean. And I've done two, and I'm working on three. So what I figured I'd do is just try and talk through it with you what I'm doing. I've done two of them, and I've kind of learned some things along the way I thought might be helpful to you folks if you're going to try this. And I gotta say that I haven't done this before. I'm not a motorhead like some of these guys who have all the talent, but you know, I do have an engineering background, and I'm pretty mechanically inclined. So I was a little intimidated taking on a project like this, but you know, I've done a lot of research, and I've read the manuals, and you know, I have to say I was a little intimidated at first, thinking that if I got stuck, I would bring a John Deere mechanic up here and help me through it. But so far so good, I gotta say. I think if you're thinking about doing your own tractor and rebuilding your own tractor, if you have some mechanical ability, and you know, you're good at working on stuff and breaking stuff apart and diagnosing things, this isn't terribly difficult. This is, there's some critical things I think you need to know, and I think I found those along the way, either from talking to people or from watching YouTube or even talking to mechanics, that I've shared in the series of videos that I think will be helpful. But other than that, I think being a layman, I wouldn't take the chance on the cylinder head. I think I discussed that before. There's some measurements you got to make there, and guys who are experienced know what they're looking at and know what the tolerances are, and can determine if the valve seats need to be replaced, or the piece through which the valve goes in, that can be bored out and replaced. Springs obviously can be replaced, and any other things that look worn. So I'll share some of that with you later. I am getting my cylinder head back from a guy who's working on it right now. I told you guys previously that I took it to John Deere dealer to have the cylinder head worked on. But you know what they do? They send out the cylinder to somebody to do it anyway. They don't have anybody in-house, at least around here where I am. So I was actually able to get a hold of the guy who John Deere sends their cylinder heads to. He's a local guy. He's got his own shop. And what a helpful guy. I went down and talked to him, and he pulled the cylinder head apart and told me some things that I'll share with you later. So I'll get that cylinder head back here in about another week, and I'll go through it with you as to what he said. So anyway, back to the matter at hand. So I am on cylinder head number 3. This is number 3 here. I just want to make sure that I'm doing this right. So basically, this is number 3. I guess what I'm going through and doing first of all is I've decided to use a piece of steel wool. I'm sure that might upset some people because you don't want to leave any steel wool behind in the engine. But everything's open down below. I think I told you guys I taped the cam followers on the camshaft. I'm using the same piece, so not much steel's coming off of it anymore. And so ultimately, when I'm done doing this, I wash it down. These two over here, I've washed down with brake fluid and cleaned them all out. Got a little Van Halen for you in the background. I hope you don't mind. Kind of like classic rock myself. I like other things, but hey, what the hell? So anyway, I'm using this, and I have this small little handy dandy super small screwdriver, and I've been using some other things that I'll show you. But basically, what I've been doing is basically you have this area up on top that the liner sits in. And what I wanted to show you was it's not necessarily this first this first recess here, which is about a 1/4 inch thick. That does need to be cleaned out. But if you look closer, there's actually another recess. Let me see if I can zoom in here. There's another recess that's even, I don't know how that's going to look. There's another recess that's back in behind here as well. So, you want to clean the first recess, but there's also, that's why I'm using this little screwdriver here. I don't know how that focus is coming in there or not. Let me try and back this off a little bit. Anyway, there's another little recess in here, and I'm going through this with this little screwdriver, and I'm cleaning this out. And you can see I'm getting, damn it, I wish that focus was better. Let me back it out a little bit again. God damn it. I don't know if you can see, there's material on that, on this guy, on this, so I take my rag. Let me get my rag real quick. There you go. And I set the steel wool aside here for a second, but I take this and just wipe all that crap off of there, and I keep going around here. Go around in this little groove that's, in the back of the initial recess here. There's another little groove in the back of there, and I'm just pulling all the dirt out of there, just like so. That does a pretty good job. And then what I like to do is, it seems to be working out well, as I get the steel wool and even a little brake fluid. I've been using this. Got this at I think AutoZone or whatever. This is a brake parts cleaner, and it says right here down below non-flammable there. So so I just do a little squirt here, maybe a little squirt in there, and run this around this steel wool. Get this nice and clean. And the nice thing about using brake fluid, and I'd highly recommend it, and the old timers do that I talk to, is brake fluid, vaporizes or evaporates relatively quickly, and doesn't leave any moisture behind, and nothing really left to stick to. So after I'm done spraying the cylinder out with brake fluid, it's going to get pretty damn dry, and then what I'll go through afterwards after that and get the air compressor, and I'll blow out any remaining dirt and dust that the brake fluid cleaner didn't, if I wasn't able to wash that out. So I do that, try and get this top done, and that looks pretty good. So I'll take, right off the top, I'll take this and spray it, clean that off there. Also, you might want to clean the sides of, where the liner presses in here. There's the initial recess, but then along, there's like a 1/2 inch of steel, and it's part of the block right on the side there. So you want to kind of clean this right in here. There's usually some gunk left on there. There was in every one of my cylinders, just crusty shit. You just want to take the steel wool and rub that over it. Get that crusty shit out of there. It's just so when you put your liner back in, you're not wrestling with it too much. But just get some of that crap off right off the side. I'm working on a vertical piece here. I don't know if you can tell that or not, but you definitely want to. So I got that. Now, I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this camera off here because I want to show you. I think I'm going to get you a better angle here. So this might show you. So I wanted to clean this vertical face here too as well. Now looking down in here a little bit closer, you can see this. I'm finding this top piece here. This is where the first O-ring goes. This first O-ring, as you go down through the cylinder here, I'm finding is the hardest to clean. You really got to take your time I'm using steel wool, I'm using that small screwdriver, and I'm cleaning this out. If you come over here to this cylinder, you'll see how clean that is. You know, I was able to get this area nice and clean. It's not just this first lip where the O-ring goes, but it's the sidewall. You know, that sidewall that's right in here seems to collect all the shit. When you pull, you know, there was some crap on this first one here, just like over there, if you can see it. You know, some of the O-rings left on here, and you know, you gotta get that stuff out of there. But it'll turn out looking like this one here. But it takes. I'm probably working on, you know, each cylinder. I'm probably spending about 40 minutes. Believe it or not, 30 to 45 minutes on each one to get everything clean, spray it down, do the top, get the recess in there, get the sidewall, and then pull out the remaining. You know, the first O-ring is on the liner itself, and of course some of it's left behind. But then below that you got the. I'm trying to see here. Below that you can see you got the red one, and then there below that one is a black one. So you got to pull those out of there, and I was able to do that on these, obviously. So you just got to take your time. But to get those O-rings out of there, just use this small little screwdriver. And again, I'm not trying to gouge into the side of the block or anything. I'm just gingerly trying to work out the. And I don't think I could do it with one hand here with the camera. I just don't have enough room. But it takes a little work. You got to work on one side of that O-ring and start pulling it out a little bit. Eventually, it comes out, and you'll be able to pull it the rest of the way. And actually, if you see, look, this one, I'm on number 3 here. I stuck my screwdriver in there for a second. Didn't even realize I pulled the son of a bitch out. So this one came right out. Look at that one there. That's the one. That's the orange one, or the red one, whichever you want to call it. So I got to get the black ones down there too. How lucky would it be if I could just pull that son of a bitch out of there with one hand? Let me see. No, that one's in there a little bit better. So I'm gonna have to work on that one a little bit. But anyway, once you get those liners out, you really got to go through, clean the top, like I said. Get this top. You're gonna spend most of your time on this top one right here. I'm finding that the gap that the red one came out of and the gap that the black one came out of, those are in pretty good shape. I still run the steel wool in them. Run them around a couple times. You can kind of feel if there's some stuff, you know, if there's some stuff that's catching the steel wool, you can feel it. And I run it in around once or twice around those guys, but most of your time is on this guy up here. So, but just another tip for you. One thing that's working for me is, and I'll go in the clean one here, but I'll take a piece of steel wool like this. It's pretty thin, and I'll try and stick it in the groove in here, you know. And let me see if I can stick it in there real quick. I'm going in the clean cylinder just to show you, but so if I can get it in there, and then what I'm doing is, and again, I'm just doing stuff that works for me. I find what I did was I got an Allen wrench that is about the width of the grooves down there. So I'm taking that and I'm pressing on basically pressing on the steel wool like that, and then I'm running the steel wool through. So just like this, you can see that, and I'll run it all the way around. So that basically that Allen wrench is in the groove of where that O-ring needs to be. So I'll run it all the way around like that, and you got to do that a couple times. Spray it with brake fluid, and keep getting the gunk out of there. Like I said, there's not a lot in those lower two, but still, I spray brake fluid, get the steel wool in there, run it around a couple times, spray it again, do it again, make sure there's nothing in there. That seemed to work pretty well for me. And then, of course, like I said, you're going to have to work on the top there and get the rest of that O-ring off, just like I'm going to have to on this third one. Once you do that, you know, get it in this condition here. Then get the compressed air. I'm going to go through, I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to get the compressed air and blow this whole thing out all the way down, even on the camshaft. Make sure I blow all of that off. And then I think I'll be in a position where I'll take my tape off my cam followers and be in a position to put the liners back in. Well, so here I am again. I just figured I would start cleaning this upper O-ring off of here so you guys could see it. I don't know how well you're going to be able to, but let me turn this back for a second here. Just give me 1 second. So I guess what I wanted you to see was, again, I'm trying to get my camera just right here so you can kind of see what I'm doing, but so basically, you know, I'm trying to get this liner out of here. I start with a screwdriver, take off my damn glasses so I can see, but I start with a screwdriver and just start working around here a little bit. Trying to get the bulk of the crap off of there. You can see, hopefully you can see, there's just a lot of gunk. Part of that O-ring's left over there. Some of it's just stuck to the side wall. It takes time and patience just to work at it. One thing I found too is, you can see it's starting to come clean there a little bit. One thing I found is, and I haven't done it in this one because I just showed you I pulled the red O-ring out of there, but I think it makes sense to keep those lower O-rings in there when you're cleaning this top one off, just because it keeps the shit from getting in to those lower grooves, which are actually relatively clean. So I'm going to stick this red one back in here just for now. If I can figure out how to do it, for God's sake. I'll run this back around if I could. I don't know, it might be just more of a hassle than it's worth. Yeah, I'm just going to get it out of there. But on the other ones, I just kept it in there. Just so some of this shit didn't get dragged in down there. But I first use a big screwdriver, get a lot of the crap out of there, and some of the big stuff, you know. Just stuff, gunked up everywhere. Especially not just on. You see, not just on. You know, you can kind of see the shine from that first one. I'm talking about higher up on the wall on the side. That seems to be where that O-ring is sticking, you know, because it sort of comes up, and then there's a wall on the side, and that's where it all is. So you gotta really take your time to get all that. So if I work my way around here, there's a lot of stuff that's coming off. Some of that black O-ring. There's just some crusty deposits, probably from, you know, from the interface there where the water, you know, the water's around the liner, and the water works its way down to the first O-ring on the top here, and that interface just has deposition and mineral deposition, and, you know, a portion of that O-ring is still on there. So I'm kind of get the rag in there now, see if I can get some of that shit out of there. And for your listening pleasure, a little bit of Boston, the local radio station. Sometimes I find it necessary to put on classical music, you know, just because if you're working on delicate stuff, you know, you want to get some music that kind of settles you down. But in this particular case, I guess because I'm cleaning gasket, I'm going to keep on rocking and rolling. You know what I'm saying? So let's see here. Working my way around. Yeah, it's looking a lot better, actually, right off the bat. Let me clean that out of there. Let me show you something else. I'm going to clean this out. That actually came out. You know, I found that, at least on my tractor, the number 1 cylinder was a lot more gunky than the number 2 and the number 3. Quite surprised. I guess I thought they'd all be about the same, but I don't know if, I don't know, shit, maybe there was a small leak initially on the O-rings when they first fired the tractor up, and maybe it leaked a little longer, I don't know. But so let's see here. I'm gonna take this camera off here. I'm gonna show you. So see, now that might actually look pretty clean there, right? But there, I don't know if you can tell. I mean, you really gotta look. There's, come on, focus, will you? It's not gonna focus very well. But there's still some fine black stuff on this. Not on here, but up here, in here, along this wall, and along this fringe, I'll call it, right here. There's still some black shit on there and part of the O-ring. So you gotta, now, I've just used my screwdriver, right? I haven't gotten in there with a steel wool yet, but this surface looks pretty good. It's back here. You gotta get in here and on this wall here and get the rest of that off. I don't know if you could see if there's still some black stuff on there. If I jump over to the clean cylinder, I've already cleaned, this is the lower piece, right? Here's the upper piece I'm talking about. Right there. See how much cleaner that is on this one? And then this vertical little wall here. That is all clean on this one. And if you go back, you'll see there's still some shit. I mean, it looks clean when you first look at it, but you gotta get in there and start looking a little bit more, and there's still some black shit in there. You know, I gotta keep working on that. Yeah, it's just, I wish my camera was better. I have a good camera, but the damn thing doesn't seem to want to focus. And I'm on auto too, so I'm gonna keep working on it. But I think you guys get the picture. Leave those lower O-rings in while you're cleaning until you get to actually cleaning those grooves. Pull them out one by one, clean from top down, and I think that's going to be the best way to do it. Steel wool seems to be working pretty well for me. Any flakes of the steel wool that's in here, I'm going to either blow them out with a compressor, or I'm going to get them with the brake fluid and just blow them out of there. So, but you can see, I mean, these are, I sprayed the shit out of these with brake fluid, and just because brake fluid has a high vapor pressure, I mean, that stuff's all gone out of there. It's all evaporated. So I'll have to blow this all out of here with the compressor next. So, all right, guys. So I got that cylinder number 3. I just finished cleaning it here, and I don't know if you can tell, but it's definitely a lot better. Got all the sides cleaned out and stuff. Got that upper area that I explained before cleaned out really well, and so I just wanted to take this can here and just spray this out, get those O-rings down there really good. Work my way around here. Get those lower O-rings cleaned out, blow this crap out of here. Just clean. Try and get a lot of the crap out of there. Get that lower O-ring area, those 2 grooves. Sorry I keep repeating myself. It's something I guess I got to work on. But anyway, so you can see clean. So that's about it. Get her cleaned out. You know, you lose. I'm on my 3rd can of brake fluid, and it makes sense. You see, I have some wood shavings down here under the tractor. You know, that absorbs the oil that's dripped out of there. When you pull the first cylinder liner, there's some excess radiator fluid still in the radiator fluid, coolant fluid in the motor that comes crashing down onto the floor. You know, brake fluid's dripping down there. So just having some sawdust or some wood shavings just to absorb that stuff helps a lot, because there will be some material, some liquids, oil or otherwise, that gets down on the floor. So I'm at a point now where I'm going to start putting her back together.